Welcome back. We've got Chef Anthony Fisher from Pittsburgh High School in the test kitchen this morning. Looking forward to making some bread and breaking some bread with you today.
Yes, super excited. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. It's pretty good.
Well, we're going to start. This is a very simple sweet bread recipe. This is one of the tried and true recipes that I use all the time. It's very easy to use.
Is this the one that's been passed down in your family?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
I've tried this one. Looking forward to it.
This one's actually really good. We're going to start with 2 eggs. And actually what we're going to start with is 2 packages of yeast.
Yeast.
Warm water and salt in there. And you're just going to let that allow the yeast to come alive.
Into it?
Yes. And then I give it a little mix with my
It's
whisk.
floating on top in there. Yeah.
And give it all a little mix, and it starts to come alive and wake up and get ready to go. And then I'm going to put my eggs, 2 eggs, 2/3 of a cup of sugar, and 3/4 of a cup of oil. Has to be oil, into another bowl. I'm going to whisk those together until I get a pale yellow smooth consistency.
Okay. What type of oil did you use?
I use vegetable oil.
Vegetable oil.
Because that's what was always been used, so I use the same one. And then you have this nice, beautiful, almost buttery color consistency inside. Works out really well.
Okay.
And then put your whisk away if you like it, because this next part will break it.
Oh, it'll get too thick.
It'll get way too thick, and you'll end up breaking your whisk, and then you'll be angry.
You got your gloves on?
Yes, because this is the messy part. I'm going to add, I have 8.5 cups of flour here. Now, depending upon the humidity for the day and a lot of other factors, you may or may not need to use all of the flour. The dough will only take as much as it needs, so you kind of have to watch.
Okay.
And we're going to do it in bits. I'm going to add probably about half of it.
Okay.
And I'm going to take my yeast water. I'm going to add some of it to it. And then I'm going to take my pastry scraper and I'm just going to start folding it in over on top of itself and moving my bowl. Now, this recipe is so wonderful. You could actually put all of these ingredients right into a bread machine and it would do this entire step for you. So it works wonderful.
So if you have a mixer, like this is where you use that arm bar thing?
You would use a dough hook, yes.
Dough hook?
I like to do this.
More technical term than an arm bar thing.
I like to do this by hand because, as you can see, it's already starting to come together and it doesn't take much.
Okay.
So I'm going to put a little more flour in. And I'm going to add some more of my water. And this does get messy. This is the part that the kids really like. So if you want to do this with the kids, this is a great thing to work on.
Okay.
So we're just going to keep folding it all together. Once you have all of your water in, you're going to start to notice it's going to thicken up quite a bit, but you want it to be just a little sticky when you roll it out onto your cutting board. And just keep on mixing and folding everything in, making sure that you keep the sides scraped down. Okay, now we're just a little too sticky, just a little bit more flour.
May end up using most of it.
You do use probably between 7 and 8 cups on average.
Okay.
But you want to have at least 8.5 cups set to the side so you can be ready to go with it.
What happens if it's too sticky?
It won't pull off the cutting board, it won't pull off your bowl, you end up losing quite a bit of it, and then it just doesn't seem to come together for you.
Okay.
So
And then if it's too dry, then it's...
if it's too dry, then you have to start over.
Oh.
So, all right, and there we have everything all together. And I'm just going to roll that, put a little flour down and roll it right out of my bowl. And then I'm just going to start to knead it together. I always flatten it out first and then fold it in.
That means it's ready to roll.
It's time for the morning, time to make sure I'm halfway to school. Over and back and then halfway over again. And I do this until I have a nice uniform ball of dough in front of me. And you'll see as you press it down,
Do you work
it
on
seals.
making bread with your students in school? I'm going to get
Yes, we're actually getting ready to start. Our bread sale starts today. And we're doing beignets and various other sweetbreads. And this dough is the dough that we'll use. And you can make cinnamon raisin bread for those of you who have the nostalgic for it. And my mom would make a giant bowl of this. I mean, a really big bowl of this. She'd keep it on the bottom shelf of the refrigerator. And we could walk in anytime we wanted. My brother would make cinnamon rolls with it.
Oh, wow.
And she'd make sure we had fresh rolls every night for dinner. And it doesn't take any time to put together because, as you can see, it's almost together.
Yeah. I mean, this is a 5-minute segment and we've got it done.
Yeah, this is beautiful dough to use. This is my go-to tried and true. I know this is going to work every time I pull it out of the batch.
Okay, so you're just going to continue. How do you know when you're ready?
You just kind of want to look at it a little bit. It's not as sticky as it was.
You want a nice little ball.
And it stays together in its ball, just like so.
So are we going to cover it?
We're going to put it back in our bowl
Oh, sorry.
that we
one?
mixed in, yes. And we're going to leave, yes, there's flour and everything in there, but that's fine. It'll help keep it from sticking to the bowl. We're just going to lay it right in the middle. Lay a piece of plastic over the top of it. If you're going to make this into bread in the same day, turn your oven on, put it right in the middle, in between the burners. Unless you have a gas range, then you can set it right on top of the grate for the gas range. On electric stoves, I don't ever recommend you put it on the burner.
Okay.
So
how long does it need to rise for usually?
It'll double in size, depends on the temperature of your
Once
house.
it's doubled in size, then a few hours or so?
Few hours, roll it out, cut it in half, put it into loaf pans, and away we go, which I'll show you
Okay.
later on this
We
morning.
will let this one rise, and we're going to come back on the KOA Morning News on Fox 14 and finish out our sweetbread and talk more about this bake sale. We'll be right back.